Hey, my friend. Welcome back to Cowboys News TV, your go-to place for everything Dallas Cowboys. We've got a packed episode today, and trust me, you don't want to miss this. From a record-breaking contract negotiation to Jerry Jones dropping some serious hints about the future of the quarterback position, there's a lot to unpack. Let's start with the biggest headline, Micah Parsons. You've seen him dominate week after week, proving why he's one of the most electrifying defensive players in the league. But now it's not just about sacks and tackles, it's about the money. Reports say Parsons is pushing for a contract extension worth around $200 million. That would make him the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Think about that. Do you believe Parsons deserves to reset the market like this? Vote in the poll and let me know your take. Now, here's where things get interesting. While Parsons' contract talks take center stage, Jerry Jones might be looking to shake things up in another key area, quarterback. With Cooper Rush and Trey Lance set to hit free agency, the Cowboys could be in the market for a new backup, or maybe even something bigger. Jones recently hinted that drafting a quarterback is very much on the table. The question is, what does that mean for Dak Prescott's future? Some believe this is just Jerry being Jerry, keeping all options open. Others think it's a sign that the Cowboys are quietly planning for life after Dak. So what do you think? Should Dallas draft a QB this year or focus on other needs? Drop your answer in the comments. And speaking of the draft, that brings us to our next big topic. A name that's been making a lot of noise lately, Tetiroa McMillan. Could this young receiver be the next big addition to the Cowboys offense? Let's break it all down next. All right, let's talk about a name that's been gaining momentum, Tetiroa McMillan. If you haven't been paying attention to college football, this guy is someone you need to know. The wide receiver from the University of Arizona has officially declared for the 2025 NFL Draft, and trust me, he's a prospect that could make a serious impact in the league. Standing at 6'5", 1.96 peppers, McMillan brings size, athleticism, and elite ball-tracking ability to the table. In his 2024 season, he put up some jaw-dropping numbers, 84 receptions, 1,319 yards, and 8 touchdowns. That's the kind of production that turns heads, and it's no surprise that scouts are already buzzing about his potential fit in the NFL. Now, here's the big question. Should the Cowboys consider drafting McMillan? There's no doubt that Dallas could use another weapon in the passing game. CeeDee Lamb is a superstar, but beyond him, the depth at wide receiver has been a concern. Brandon Cooks has been solid, but he's not getting any younger. Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks have shown flashes, but are they truly ready to take on bigger roles? That's debatable. McMillan could bring something different. His size makes him a nightmare in jump ball situations, and his ability to create separation for a big receiver is impressive. Imagine having him as a red zone threat alongside Lamb. That would give Dak Prescott, or whoever is under center, a serious advantage. But of course, drafting McMillan isn't as simple as just wanting him. Right now, most projections have him going in the late first or early second round. The Cowboys currently hold the 12th overall pick, which might be a little too early to take him. So that brings up an interesting scenario. Should Dallas consider trading down to grab McMillan while also gaining extra draft capital? This is where you come in. What do you think is the best move? 1. Draft McMillan at 12 if he's available. 2. Trade down, get extra picks, and try to grab him later. 3. Skip him entirely and focus on another position. Vote in the poll and drop your reasoning in the comments. And speaking of roster upgrades, the Cowboys might not just rely on the draft. There are rumors swirling about potential trades, including one that could bring Courtland Sutton to Dallas. Could he be the missing piece for the Cowboys' offense? Let's dive into that next. All right, let's get into the latest buzz, trade rumors. And this time, 2 big names have been linked to the Cowboys, Courtland Sutton and Michael Mayer. First, let's talk about Sutton. The Broncos' wide receiver has been the subject of trade talks for a while now, and it looks like Dallas might be interested. At 6'4", 1.93 meters, Sutton is a physical receiver who excels at making contested catches. Last season, he had 10 touchdowns despite playing in a struggling Denver offense. Adding him to the Cowboys roster could provide the big-bodied target that's been missing in the passing game. But here's the catch. What would it take to get him? The Broncos are reportedly asking for at least a third-round pick, and with Dallas already being cautious with its cap space, making this deal happen wouldn't be easy. Do you think Sutton is worth it? Or should the Cowboys focus on the draft instead of giving up assets for a veteran? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's switch gears to Michael Mayer. The former Notre Dame standout was a highly touted tight end in the 2023 draft, but his transition to the NFL with the Raiders hasn't exactly been smooth. After a disappointing rookie season, rumors suggest that he could be looking for a fresh start, and the Cowboys might be a landing spot. Dallas has already seen Jake Ferguson emerge as a solid tight end, but adding Mayer could create a dangerous 1-2 punch at the position. The real question is, would Las Vegas actually move on from him this early? Some believe that if the price is right, the Raiders could be open to dealing him. So, here's another question for you. Would you rather trade for Sutton or Mayer? Or should the Cowboys avoid both and focus on younger talent? Let me know in the comments. Now, if trades aren't the answer, maybe the best move is to play it smart in the draft. That brings us to the next big discussion. Should the Cowboys trade their 12th overall pick for more draft capital? Let's break down the strategy next. The NFL draft is always a critical moment for the Cowboys, and with the 12th overall pick this year, the front office has a big decision to make. Do they stay put and take a blue-chip player, or do they trade down to accumulate more picks? Let's break it down. Right now, Dallas has several holes to fill: offensive line, wide receiver depth, and maybe even quarterback. By trading down, they could acquire extra second or third round picks, giving them more flexibility to address multiple needs. But who would trade up to the 12th spot? A few teams that could be looking to move up include Minnesota Vikings. If they're targeting a quarterback, they might be willing to overpay. Pittsburgh Steelers. They need offensive line help and could try to secure a top-tier prospect. Cincinnati Bengals. If an elite receiver or defensive playmaker falls, they could make a move. Now let's talk about potential targets if Dallas keeps the pick. Tetiroa McMillan, WR, Arizona, a 6'5" deep threat with elite hands. Talaiz Fuaga, OT, Oregon State, a powerful tackle who could solidify the offensive line. Laiatu Latu, edge, UCLA, if the Cowboys want to strengthen their pass rush even more. So, what's the best move? Would you rather Dallas trade down for more picks or stay at 12 and grab a top talent? Which position do you think should be the Cowboys' biggest priority? Let me know in the comments. But speaking of fan opinions, I know you've got a lot of questions about the team's direction, and that's exactly what we're going to cover next. A Q&A session featuring your biggest concerns about the Cowboys' future. Let's get into it. Now, it's time for your questions, because let's be real, Cowboys Nation always has a lot to say. I went through the biggest concerns from fans, and we're going to break them down right now. Question 1. Should the Cowboys consider trading Micah Parsons for multiple first-round picks? Look, Parsons is a generational talent, and replacing him would be nearly impossible. But if a team offered, let's say, 3 first-rounders, would you even consider it? Or is he untouchable? Let me know in the comments. Question 2. Will Dallas finally invest in an elite safety? This has been a weakness for years. Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker are solid, but the Cowboys haven't had a true game-changer at safety in decades. Should they go all in on a player like Cameron Kinchens or Callan Bullock in the draft? Vote below. Yes, it's time to fix the secondary. No, the Cowboys have bigger needs elsewhere. Question 3. What are realistic expectations for next season? With so many question marks, Parsons' contract, Dak's future, and potential draft day moves, what's your gut feeling? Playoff run? Super Bowl? or another disappointing finish? Drop your prediction in the comments. That's it for today's breakdown, but trust me, this offseason is just getting started. Stay locked in for more updates, and as always, go Cowboys!